Thank you very much, colleague Amelia. Thank you very much, city leaders, ladies and gentlemen, and also dear Antonio, friends. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to all of you from Nairobi. I would like to make very fast 5 points. One is cities are engine of growth. Cities are a major destination for migrants. So here they hope to find increased livelihood opportunities, safety and access to basic and urban services. They contribute to our national and urban economies. As you say, by 2050, 2/3 of the population will live in cities, and this also include a migrant. As you mentioned it correctly, Amelia, I think all of us are migrant in some one or other ways. So migrant work formally or informally in all sectors. Cities benefit from an increased labor force and on construction site, in trade, tourism, in food production and processing, in the hospitality sector. So legal migrant now at the moment as doctors, nurses, in other jobs that keep health care today running in this challenging world, their contribution become very more acknowledged now. If they opt or need to return to their places of origin, we become more aware of their often crucial roles in our communities and also economy. Second, migrant is also source of labor and also employment, as you put it correctly, Amelia. But migrants are also the first to lose their job. Migrant and especially recently the forcibly displaced people are among the most vulnerable of our society. Our previous learning session on adequate housing and safe mobility recognized our concerns for migrant, refugee and the IDPs. My third point is that UN Habitat and together with other UN agencies, we are also a central concerns to our mission and in our new strategic plan, and one and our new flagship program recognize the challenges and benefit of migrants. In Abu Dhabi recently in WOOF 10, we launched our flagship program on inclusive cities, enhancing the positive impact of urban migration. UN Habitat collaborate together with UCLG and International Center for Migration Policy Development in the Mediterranean City-to-City Migration Project, we started in 2015 and now in the second phase. So the project works towards improving migration governance in the city level, including in the urban planning processes. We also engage with IOM and UNHCR in the joint project Cities of Solidarity in 4 Latin America cities. This joint project supports local authorities, local government to endeavor inclusive urban societies and ensure that economic, social, and cultural contribution of all matters, also of refugee and migrant. Our collaboration with IOM is very strong on global, regional, and country level. So UN Habitat also actively contributes to the UN Migration Network. We work with the national and the local government and through UNHCR where so necessary, including in Afghanistan, Iraq, Kenya, Lebanon, Somalia, to ensure that both migrant and host community benefit from action taken on the ground. And we engage in the joint project called Cities of Solidarity with IOM and UNHCR in 4 Latin America's cities. The fourth, the impact of COVID-19 to the migrant. Faced with the COVID-19 pandemic, many local authorities across the world have already become cities of solidarity. They reacted very fast with innovative initiatives in support of migrants and displaced communities. Many actions fast-track access to basic services. Cities are quick in offering additional social services to support for children of migrant communities. Cities were first in line to produce information on the COVID-19 in different languages. They enhanced the dialogue with vulnerable people in both host and migrant communities. They acted against rumors and fake news blaming specific population groups. They are also saying that migrant communities are also actively contribute to joint effort on the ground with local authorities and cities, civil society organizations. And UN Habitat together with UNHCR and other and the local government joined in the Kakuma, Kenya, with the migration at the refugee, 180,000 refugees in Kakuma and Colobye, giving access to water, sanitation and wash, looking at the spatial planning and allocation of social distancing and technical advisory. Our work in Somalia is also together with the EU, and our work in Iraq and our work in Syria is to be a few of the areas. So my last point is that the way forward. What is the way forward? We have to work together to achieve more. It's a teamwork. TEAM, together everyone achieve more. We cannot do it alone. So with cities and local government, we must now use the opportunity to change the narrative on migrants. While acknowledging their vulnerabilities, on the other hand, we must make sure that the contribution and the stereotypes are not encouraged during this crisis. Share stories on positive contribution on migrants in our cities, foster inclusive communities, increase social cohesion between migrant and host communities. We talk about the whole of community, whole of society, whole of government approaches in planning and action during this crisis and beyond the outbreak. We need to start right now. We need to ensure that inclusion reaches informal settlement, underserviced urban area, crime or camp-like environment, and omit segregation by legal status. Urban migrant, refugee, IDPs communities, as well as vulnerable host population need to be included in response to the recovery plans. They have an immense capacity to self-organize, identify their needs, and tailor innovative low-cost solutions. We need to stay home to stop the spread of COVID-19. This is what we do today. However, we need solidarity if we want to rebuild prosperity. We also need to do this today. We cannot defer that to tomorrow. We need to leverage our solidarity with migrants and their contribution if we want to succeed. With UCLG and with IOM, with all of you friends, we are ready to listen to you, to be inspired by you, and to support you. Thank you very much and for your attention. I'm here to be together with you. Thank you. Over to you, Amelia. Thank you.